What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades. Well, guys and gals, it is time for an update here on Baz on Blades. And no, it's not just going to be another video update on the Damascus pendant project, although we will first touch base on that. After 3 days of grinding on those little bitty pendants, not being able to wear gloves and burning my fingertips, I decided to take a day off. I did not work on the pendants today. It was raining outside anyway. So, and we're ahead of schedule on those. There's not going to be any issue of getting those done within the 2-week time period. So I decided to take a day off and take care of something else today. I will say this. I want to say thank you to everybody that has pre-ordered pendants. Thank you very much. And I want to say that most everything is sold. The only thing that I have left are the two. I have two of these Mosaic Damascus. It's a skull in the middle of a spider web. It's going to be a pendant. I've still got to drill the hole in it. And of course, this is 1/8 inch stock, so it's substantial. It's through and through. It's the same thing through and through. So I've got two of these that'll be $30 each, and then I have one raindrop cross left over. That's it, guys. Everything else has sold. So I've got one raindrop cross left over and the two skull and spider web pendants, and they're all $30 each, shipped. So just hit me up if you're interested in any of those three. Thank you to those that pre-ordered. The next thing is, I have decided on the business name that I'm going to be making knives under. I am not going to use my last name, Baz. There is already a custom knife maker in Australia that works under the name Baz, and I'm pretty sure he uses that as his maker's mark. And even though Baz is my last name, I don't want to step on this guy's toes. He's already an established maker. As far as I know, he's been making knives for years. Not a big deal. I'm going to use my old business name, and the name is Killzone Cutlery. Killzone Cutlery. And basically, I like the name. It's sort of cool sounding. I already have the web domain reserved for it, and I already have business cards packed away somewhere from where I ordered them years ago. I may even need to get new business cards. But that's what we're going to do the knives under, and I'm not going to start a separate YouTube channel for that. We're just going to do everything through Baz on Blades. The knives will be under Killzone Cutlery, and we'll have the Killzone Cutlery maker's mark on them, which I am working on right now, but is pretty cool. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now, the next thing, the third thing in the update, and the big item is, I have been teasing for months now the first design that is going to come out of my shop as far as knives go. And I have not shown anything. I think it's about time. You guys have been really supportive and everybody's been asking. I think it's about time to debut this design. Now, it is a small fixed blade. It is a Kiridashi. And a Kiridashi is a small traditional Japanese utility knife. And it's very simple. Kiridashis are traditionally they're very simple. They're just a hunk of steel. And those of you that are familiar with Kiridashis across the custom knife world, you know they can be fairly exotic in multiple shapes. But they follow the same sort of design parameter. They typically are a chisel ground blade, and they're typically fairly small. And can be extremely small, actually. I've seen Kiridashis that were 3 inches long. But I've been kicking this design around since 2010, guys. That's how long I've had this design done. And I think it's about time we got ready to make these. And I'm going to debut this design tonight. This is the Killzone Cutlery Future Dashi. And here it is, guys. The Killzone Cutlery Future Dashi. And of course, the reason I call it the Future Dashi is it's sort of an angular type of thing. It looks sort of futuristic to me. And I'll point out a couple of things that I think is really neat about this design. You can see it's got a really angular blade end. It's going to have a very sharp tip on it. This is about 6 inches or 6 1/4 inches length by 1 inch wide and 3/16 stock thickness. It gives you a cutting edge of 1 7/8 of an inch. All right, so just about a 2 inch cutting edge out of a blank that's only 1 inch wide. Some of the things that I've done on this, you can see that the angle for the blade is going to be repeated in the front half of the handle scale, and then on the butt end we've gone with a little bit different angle. All right, you've got some sharp edges, you've got some rounded edges, a nice combination of there to keep things interesting. You know, I called this thing the Future Dashi. It looks sort of futuristic to me, and I went with this drilled hole motif up here, and this is you know, Future Dashi to me is sort of space oriented, sci-fi-ish type of deal. So what I wanted to do there is something that would sort of reflect that, and I did this 2-hole pattern, and what that is the Earth with the moon that is moving around the Earth. All right, it's in orbit around the Earth. That's what that represents. All right, the next thing you're going to notice is the pin layout for the handle scale is not center line of the handle like you would typically see. I'm going to place these pins more following the angles of the handle scale. You'll notice this pin is high above the center line. This pin is actually on the center line. I think that it really, as far as the pins and holding on the scales, it really doesn't do a lot, but I think that it will add another dimension to the look of this. You got to, keep in mind that Kira Dashis are pretty simple overall. You've got to really sort of cram in some interesting design factors in them. All right, now you'll also notice this one does not have a lanyard hole in it. I have not decided if I'm going to add a lanyard hole, but if I do, it will be of sufficient size for 550 cord, and it'll be right up here in this corner. But that's the first design, guys, the Future Dashi. Again, it's going to be 6 inches, 6 1/4 inches overall by 1 inch wide, 3/16 stock. The scales will be 3/16. They will be flat cut with radiused edges. And that's it, guys. That's what we're looking for. Base models will be in 01 tool steel, maybe some 1095. They will have G10 handle scales in varying colors. They will probably be, if I do them in 01, I'll do an acid stone wash, a dark acid stone wash with some G10 scales. Then maybe the next step up would be a hand rub finish with some micarta scales. And then, of course, the next step up, the premium models will be in Damascus with more exotic handle materials, maybe carbon fiber, maybe some figured woods, things like that. And the base model, the 01 tool steel with G10, probably going to be $100 flat is what they're going to cost. $100 flat. They're going to come with a simple little Kydex sheath that'll probably be horizontal looped for belt mount. And I may offer some options on that. I've still got to prototype out sheets. So that's what you're looking at, guys. That's what it's going to be right there. That's pretty interesting seeing it on paper, isn't it? It's too bad that I don't have anything ready that I could actually show you, because I worked on this paper so hard today. Look at that. I've got all of these shavings from where I was drawing this out on paper. Wait a second. Drawing things out on paper doesn't make curly Q shavings like that. I wonder what those came from. Huh. Well, maybe they came from this right here. We've started prototyping this out, guys. All right. This is, again, this is 3/16 inch Alabama Damascus. You can see I've got the profile done. I've got the pinholes drilled. I've got my holes here drilled for my little earth and moon motif for the future Dashie. And then, on top of that, we've profiled out some handle scales, guys. Now, this is the prototype. This is going to be mine. It's going to be in Damascus with ironwood, burled ironwood handle scales on it. And then, additionally, it is going to feature, let's see if we can get this in here. Ah, come on. Then we're going to use some mosaic pin stock here. Let's see if we can get some light on that. There you go, mosaic pin stock. Now again, this is 3/16 inch stock. The handle scales will be 3/16 of an inch thick. And then we're going to use this 1/8 inch pin stock on this. I think it's going to look pretty doggone fancy, guys. And that's what you'll be looking at in the future Dashie. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm pretty excited about this. These will be available in left hand or right hand grinds. Now in the drawing here, it's showing a left hand grind. They'll be available in either left hand or right hand. And then I'm also, since I'm using 3/16 stock, I may do some V grinds on these, which would not be traditional for a Kira Dashie. But this is a future Dashie. In the future, people like V grinds, I think. I've not been to the future, but I have been to the present, and people seem to like V grinds pretty well in the present, so I assume they will in the future also. So, let me know what you guys think. It's going to be a beautiful little Kira Dashie with a unique design, not too big, not too small. You could carry it as a neck knife probably. You could carry it horizontally on your belt. It's going to be nice and stabby. I mean, that's a pretty extreme angle right there. You typically do not see out of a Kira Dashie. So, there we go, guys. I hope you are happy with that. We should have these, the first run of them ready. Spring, late spring, depending on how fast we get my shop fixed, because you know a tree fell on my shop. It's not going to be fixed until the springtime. But and I don't want to be out on my front porch squatted down trying to grind knives. I need to get all this equipment back up on workbenches. But that's it, guys. There will be other designs coming quickly. I've got 20 different designs ready to roll as far as prototyping the designs. I'm going to work on this one over the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, get it heat treated, do the grind on it, get everything finalized and scales done and all of that. You can see that these are they're just flat right now. And this is in 1/4 inch, and I've got to thin it down to 3/16. And then I'm going to, it'll basically have a radius, a bull-nosed edge going around. So it'll be nice and comfortable in the hand, because this is going to be, guys, it's going to be a substantial, this is not going to be some little flimsy feeling type of, let's bring that other scale in here. You know, it's going to be a hand feel, and again, those are 1/4 inch scales, and they're going to be 3/16. So it's going to be a substantial little Kira Dashie, guys. I'm really, really, really excited about this. I thought I was excited about the pendants, but they're not exciting at all compared to this, guys. I'm really, really excited about debuting this, and I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys want it, because that's how I'm going to make money. All right, guys. Well, that's about it for the update, tonight's update on Bazon Blades. The pendants are right on track, going to be ready to go out within 2 weeks. The business name, we've decided on Killzone cutlery for that. And then you've got the Future Dashie, the debut of the Killzone cutlery, Future Dashie. And of course, there will be plenty of updates, work in progress on that as I start working with this prototype and putting together a sheath design for it and blah, blah, blah. All the little steps that I've got to take care of before this thing is ready to sell. All right, guys. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.